What's up, you maniacal manipulators? Terrence Pop here with another episode of Live from the Lair. Actually, it is. I want to apologize for Tuesday. We were off the air. Blake had to go under the knife, and I had to cut on his meat sack a little bit, and he's kind of jacked up. He's mobile. He's going to make a full recovery, but it is what it is. I'm just sad to see it happen, because once they cut on you, they continue to cut on you. And I'm living proof of that. All right. Well, I do have Red Pill Rano and Jimmy Bones to assist us. Let's bring them in.
Whoops.
All right. Now, today's show is this is just a glimpse of some of the stuff we do for the supporters. So we're going to be covering a subject, but I'm also planning for another pop culture comedy video. And, this is pretty much how the process works for the most part, minus, drugs and over alcohol use. Can't really do that and run a good show. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
So what do you guys got going on?
Working away, and gonna be glad when this bipolar weather system finally decides to piss off.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you,
Ugh.
I am very sensitive now to the weather changes since I've been, bashed up as many times as I have in my life.
Right.
And if they're like, say one day I go out and it's like 30 degrees, and the next day I go out and it's like 55 or 60, I'm usually done for the day. I mean, it just fucks me up that bad.
Yeah.
So I'll probably be one of those guys, if I make it past 65, that moves between like, here and in Texas or Florida or something.
Not a bad plan, though.
All right. Now, I started off this whole thing with maniacal manipulations. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we've all known throughout all of human history, women are master manipulators. All right. Listen, they grab the downstairs thing, give it a little of this, a little of that, and some of this. Next thing you know, you're buying her a Cadillac.
Yeah.
Because you didn't think it through. You were dick thinking, you idiot.
Guilty.
All right.
Been there a few times.
All right, so we got a couple articles we're going to go through, and as we go along, I want you guys to, if you have any similar situations that happen to you, let us know in the comments and so forth. And I will ask questions of people in the comments to see how they're answering.
Yep. And let's go ahead and bring up this one with the 20 diversion tactics highly manipulative narcissists, sociopaths, and psychopaths use to silence you.
All right. Now, the reason I picked this particular article is when I read through it, I was like, oh my God, this is exactly what feminists do. BLM does the same thing, and the DEI guys do the same thing as well.
Yeah.
They argue and they conduct themselves like narcissist, bipolar individuals because they only care about themselves.
Well, I guarantee, as you guys are reading along with us here, you're going to probably notice some very familiar behaviors, maybe exes of yours as well. I know when I saw that, I briefed over this before we started the show. It hit really close to home. A lot of these points.
Yeah, did the same for me.
Yeah. But, by the time you get to about 21, we have encountered already about half the things on this list at some point or another, going through kindergarten through, 12th grade.
Yeah.
Yep. A deep dive into understanding the narcissistic, sociopathic, psychopathic, and other antisocial personalities. Toxic people such as malignant narcissists, psychopaths, and those with antisocial traits engage in maladaptive behaviors. I probably said that wrong.
The maladaptive, no worries.
There you go. Too many syllables. In relationships that ultimately exploit, demean, and hurt their intimate partners, family members, and friends. They use a plethora of diversionary tactics that distort the reality of the victims and deflect responsibility. Although those who are not narcissistic can employ these tactics as well. Abusive narcissists use these to an excessive extent. Can't read today.
All right, that first one there, gaslighting. All right, if you were raised by a single mother, more than likely you have had your thinking meat shuffled more times than a 52 pickup deck. All because of the mother and other female figures in the household gaslighting you. I was highly resistant to this because I'd be like, wait a minute. All right, I was fucking standing in the room. I saw exactly what you did. I heard exactly what you said.
Yep.
And now you want me to go back in mind and kind of in my mind and rewrite it because you're telling it different.
Yeah, they do this all the time. They'll change the story, or when you bring something up, that never happened. What are you talking about? That never happened. I remember it happening, but now I'm supposed to believe it didn't happen. Okay.
Well, I'm wondering if they do that to as like some kind of subconscious attempt to get away from accountability.
Yep. I was going to say they kind of try to pull a reverse Mandela effect on you.
Stand by, gentlemen. I'll be right back.
All right.
See, pretty sure we pretty much covered that one. The next one would be projection.
All right. Now, again, this is very common. And a lot of women who are cheating on their significant others will project and accuse their partner of cheating on them. That's like the basic projections that I've had experience with. What have you guys had?
Well, myself, not really too much of this happening with me. I've had other instances that are on the list here happen to me before.
Mm-hmm. Well, read a little bit of projection so we can educate the people out there.
One sign of toxicity is when the person is chronically unwilling to see his or her own shortcomings and uses everything in their power to avoid being accountable for them. This is known as projection. Projection is a defense mechanism used to displace responsibility of one's negative behavior and traits by attributing them to someone else. It ultimately acts as a digression that avoids ownership and accountability.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. I don't know. I've had to deal with projection, and especially when it was coming up towards my divorce, and my ex, projected all kinds of crazy shit on me that later on, when I did the full investigation, she was actually doing it and accusing me of doing the same thing.
Well, and it goes hand in hand with blame shifting as well. Usually if they're doing the projection stuff, they're going to turn everything back around on you. Oh, and taking accountability for anything? Never.
That's right.
Nope. Let's see. An example they have, a person who engages in pathological lying may accuse the partner of fibbing. A needy spouse may call their husband clingy in an attempt to depict them as one who is dependent. A rude employee may call their boss ineffective in an effort to escape the truth about their own productivity.
Yep. Excuse me, I'm going to have to start drinking because this subject
I picked a hell of a week to quit.
Well, the thing is this is one of my base frustrations, and I learned this probably in middle school, and I wasn't able to put it to words until I got to my 30s. But you can understand women, and you can love women, but you can't do both.
Can't do both.
So once I've educated and red pilled enough people out there to understand women, I won't have to really worry about them. About getting love bombed and love trapped and like run into the fucking dirt because you want to clap trap on a coochie.
Yeah.
Let's see, we'll go on to the next
one.
one.
Jimmy, hold on. Scroll back up there a little bit. I'll run through this one because this one is, like I said, it goes hand in hand. A little bit up, just a hair.
A little more.
Yep, there it is. Oh, where'd it go? Wait, now it's gone. There it is. No, up. Right there. Narcissistic abusers love to play the blame shifting game. Objectives of the game: they win, you lose, and you or the world at large is blamed for everything that's wrong with them. This way, you get to babysit their fragile ego while you're thrust into a sea of self-doubt. Fun, right? I can't tell you how often I've dealt with that shit in long-term relationships, and it is not fun, man.
It's not. And these are very common, and you guys should be picking up on this. What's the next one?
Let's see. We have nonsensical conversations from hell. If you think you're going to have a thoughtful discussion with someone who is toxic, be prepared for the mind fuckery rather than conversational mindfulness.
I laugh because I've been here.
Yep. Mind
Been there.
fuckery. I like that.
Yeah.
Malignant narcissists and sociopaths use word salad. I'm going to hold on to that comment.
Right.
Circular conversations, ad hominem arguments, projection, and gaslighting to disorient you and to get you off track should you ever disagree with them or challenge them in any way. They do this in order to discredit, confuse, and frustrate you, distract you from all the main problems, and make you feel guilty for being a human being with actual thoughts and feelings that might differ from their own. In their eyes, you are the problem.
Yeah,
if
and remember,
you happen to exist.
Remember,
it's really
if you
true.
ever challenge them on this, you're crazy and you need help.
no.
Just
They
that happens
flip
all the
out.
time. Oh
Like,
yeah.
One of the main ways you get like a bipolar or narcissist is you just tell them the truth to their face, so they can't hide from it, and they literally go berserk.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Are you saying that's stupid? I'm like, well, here's the answer.
You're not
the same thing. Either you're dumb or you're insane.
If the shoe
Yep.
fits.
Don't ask questions you already know the answer to.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely correct. What's the next one?
Hey, next one is blanket statements and generalizations. Malignant narcissists aren't always intellectual masterminds. Shocker. Many of them are intellectually lazy. Rather than taking the time to carefully consider a different perspective, they generalize anything and everything you say, making blanket statements that don't acknowledge the nuances in your argument or to take into the account the multiple perspectives you've paid homage to. Better yet, why not put a label on what that you dismissed that dismisses your perspective altogether?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I've run into this a few times, but I don't know. It wasn't really common, at least in my circles.
All right.
Oh, here. Look at that. Oh, when you're talking about the microaggressions there, that's very interesting. Some of the specific examples I gave as well.
What are they?
You're always so sensitive, or you're never satisfied. If I had a dime for every time I heard that crap, but that is the oversimplification of things again.
Yeah. Well, listen, we've all been. All right. In my teens, I dated quite a few women, and a lot of them used to do this because they're idiots and they didn't have experience in the dating world yet.
Right.
Yeah. And then later on, some of these women perfected it, and oh my God. I mean, one of the chicks I dated when I was like in 11th grade has already been divorced like 3 times.
Jesus.
Bummer for her. Oh well. I dodged a bullet.
Right.
I do like this last passage here, though. It says, hold on to your truth and resist generalizing statements by realizing that they are, in fact, forms of black and white illogical thinking. Toxic people wield blanket statements that do not represent the full richness of experience. They represent the limited one of their singular experience and overinflated self of sense.
All right. Or they use extreme examples.
Yeah.
That's like with the abortion whole thing.
Yeah.
They use the what if she's raped? Okay.
Yeah.
What percentage of these women get raped and have to get an abortion? It is infinitesimally small.
Right.
But that's
and once
the example that they use to basically apply abortion to everyone.
Yeah. Well, and when you break it down with logics, facts, and reason, they start squirming a little bit like, oh, well, it's less than 1 cases are actually that statistic. But please do go on. Yeah.
Or ad hominem attack, like who hurt you?
Oh, God. Yeah. All the time.
Somehow the feeling that I may or may not be having at this particular time is having a huge impact on reality. I don't think so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So we
got number 5, deliberately misrepresenting your thoughts and feelings to the point of absurdity. In the hands of a malignant narcissist or sociopath, you Your differing opinions, legitimate emotions, and lived experiences get translated into character flaws and evidence of your irrationality.
And actually, they use it. They turn it into a weakness to use against you.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Narcissists weave tall tales to reframe what you're actually saying as a way to make your opinions look absurd and heinous. Let's say you bring up the fact that you're unhappy with the way that a toxic friend is speaking to you. In response, he or she may put words in your mouth saying, so now you're perfect, or so I'm a bad person, huh?
How dare you mention your feelings about something?
Listen, when you actually talk to a lot of feminists out there, they do this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And subconsciously, the reason I'm covering a lot of this is subconsciously in the Western world, every woman has base programming for feminism. Some of them might say they're not, but actions speak louder than words.
Right.
So I'm just trying to help you guys to identify this craziness so you won't fall victim to it.
Yep. This enables them to invalidate your right to have thoughts and emotions about their inappropriate behavior and instills in you a sense of guilt when you attempt to establish boundaries.
Guilt, blame, and shame.
Yep. You know, the interesting thing you'll notice about the narcissistic traits as well, and I'm talking clinically, not the cliche version. We're referring to clinical. They don't actually think these things through. It's almost impulsively programmed into them. They don't have to think about this. They're much better at this game than you because, again, you're trying to play with the certain amount of pieces that are supposed to be on a chessboard. They're not even using the chessboard. They don't care about the rules. This is all pre-programmed into them.
Yeah, it's subconscious to them.
Yeah,
they literally drop out of the cunt knowing how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, wow.
Yeah. This one,
what?
Nitpicking and moving the goalposts.
Oh yeah.
The difference between constructive criticism and destructive criticism is the presence of personal attack and impossible standards. These so-called critics often don't want to help you improve. They just want to nitpick, pull you down, and scapegoat you in the way they can.
Yeah, and listen, this is very common. They tear you down to make themselves look good. That's basically what they're saying here.
Yep.
Yeah.
In a nutshell.
Yep. Abusive narcissists and sociopaths employ a logical fallacy known as moving the goalposts in order to ensure that they have every reason to be perpetually dissatisfied with you. Do you have a successful career? The narcissist will then start to pick on you why you aren't a multimillionaire yet. Did you already fulfill their need and to be excessively catered to? Now it's time to prove that you can also remain independent. The goalposts will perpetually change and may not even be related to each other. They don't have any other points besides making you vie for the narcissist's approval and validation.
Yeah, and let me point that out on a subtle level too. Gentlemen, maybe some of you watching are in a relationship currently, or maybe in the past you've felt this, but let's say she has a list of requirements, but again, that's not being in your frame. That's a whole different topic though. But she has a list of requirements and you've met those requirements and everything's fine for a few weeks, few months. And then all of a sudden she's not happy and she needs you to add this and this and this. And if you don't perform at that, that's a big problem. So then of course you perform to those levels and a few months go by and then I need to add this to it and this to it. Here's the bottom line. When you even get that slight push of adding this, you say no. Bottom line, no. Otherwise, you're in for a world of hurt later.
So this is called prerequisite stacking. Is that I mean, that's what it sounds like, right? They're stacking prerequisites.
Yeah.
So just getting the door, you have 6 or 8 prerequisites these women have. And then once the oxytocin starts to go away, they start adding more shit, thinking that somehow you'll become more satisfying to them, which never happens.
Right. And it basically comes down to the I'm never happy thing, because they never are. They want more and more and more and more.
Well, I mean, they've gone beyond 4 or 5 dicks.
Yeah.
All right, and we know the more dicks they have, that's why of the dick stacking test, they aren't going to be able to pair bond with you correctly.
Nope.
Nope.
All right, yeah, that makes a lot of sense right there.
Yep.
Move on to the next one.
Let's see, we got changing the subject to evade accountability. This type of tactic is what I like to call the "what about me" syndrome. Wham.
Yep.
It is a literal digression from the actual topic that works to redirect attention to a different issue altogether. Narcissists don't want you to be the topic of holding them accountable for anything, so they will reroute discussions to benefit them.
Are we noticing here that this is all avoiding accountability?
Yep, that word right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we'll add to that really quick is the classic scenario of this in a relationship setting is on January 6th of 2018, you said and did this to hurt my feelings, completely changing the subject altogether.
Yes, and I usually call those the only now, or for now and only ifs. Because I can't tell how many times I'm talking to a significant other, they're like, oh yeah, that's no problem. And then halfway through, it's like they pull back the permission just to be pissed when I get back.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I know I told you to go hunting between, Thursday and Sunday, but, Saturday night, I really needed you here. So, like, get the fuck out of here. That's not how men operate.
Yep.
Like, literally, you're like, all right, the men are like, all right, I'm going to be doing activity X between A and B time frame. That's it. So if you call me at time X, I'm going to be doing X stuff.
Basically, I just tell them, well, looks like you're canoeing on Shit Creek and you lost your paddle and you got a hole in the canoe. You better start swimming.
Yeah, you got to figure something out, bro.
Yep, can't be there to fix all the problems.
Right.
No.
Final one here, they say, don't be derailed. If someone pulls the old switcheroo on you, you can exercise what I like to call the broken record method and continue stating the facts without giving into their distractions. Good advice.
This really pisses them off.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. It really pisses them off.
Redirect their redirection by saying, that's not what I'm talking about. Let's stay focused here on the real issue.
Again, you're not arguing with a logical human being.
No.
Good luck with that. I don't recommend that. I recommend walking away at that point.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of people who pull this shit, they want you to be arguing emotions and they bring it down to their level and defeat you with experience.
Yep.
Never debate or argue emotions. Literally, you can change somebody's emotions in a second or less. Period.
Yep. I basically said that, pretty much covered that one right now. If they're not interested, disengage and spend your energy on something more constructive, like not having a debate with someone who has the mental age of a toddler.
I like that.
Now listen. Now we're at the end of this article here. What I have here on the board here is I have the deadly sins, gluttony, fornication, greed, despair, wrath, sloth, pride, and vanity, basically the same. And then I have basic male nature, which is protect and provide. If you go to the bear or the bottom of the barrel and you figure out exactly what these ladies are doing to you, is they're literally using the seven deadly sins in your nature directly against you. I mean, we got blame and shame. That's pride. All right. So you got pride in here. All right. Then you got gaslight you. They basically rewrite history. They figure out somewhere in here and they attack it. Shut you down by over talking or humiliation. That one is very common for a lot of feminists to do. I've been in a couple debates with, feminist-minded individuals, and they literally do this one all the time. They talk over you thinking that somehow by them doing that, it nullifies, your position, your logic, reason, or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next is they play Clue or charades with you. Like, this isn't a fucking game. If there's a problem, just look me in the eye and tell me. And since I am a provider and protector, it goes to the top of that priority for me to fix it. That's what men do. Men are for the most part, men fix shit.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The problem, a lot of what they're saying in that article, I'm just going to tell you from experience, if you're dealing with a narcissist, another thing you got to be careful is leaving. I'm going to tell you that right now. Plan that out. And Pop's done a few episodes on that too.
Oh, yeah.
But the best thing you can do is not engage, because I'm telling you, no matter what you say or do, it's not going to end well.
Yeah. Well, hey, do we got any super chats to go through?
Let's see. I think I saw one or two here. Let me bring those up here. Let's see. Looks like one from YouTube so far. Sean St. George with $4.99. He says he sent a video to Redonkulous 12. The subject: when she likes dad bods. I believe I have that pulled up here.
Oh my Lord.
Let's see. It is a YouTube short here, so stop sharing that and bring this back up.
I don't know.
There we go. All right, let's see what she says about she's being into dad bods.
So, what do you think of the place?
It's nice. It's good. I just don't think it's going to work out between us. I'm sorry. I'm just really into dad bods.
I wish there was another way.
Actually, there might be. Check again.
Your dad bod!
Come here.
Oh, my knee! Feels like it has arthritis.
It's all a part of the process. You'll get used to it. It's fine.
Oh no.
I see you.
You might be needing these. You look so good.
My back's so fucking itchy. You
Oh,
check
no.
my back. What's on my back? Oh my god! Oh my god!
Wow.
What do you see your balls?
So, what do you think of the place?
Oh,
Pretty good.
that was
Good
pretty
stuff.
good. That was good, man. That
I
was
like
good.
that.
Let's see. We have Humble Rise with $40.99. He says narcissists are the devil's minions. No joke.
Yeah.
Mm.
Listen. Let's just, be real here. Because of my military service, a lot of the shit I had to do, I had to act in a very sociopathic way. Now, that isn't my everyday programming, but military men, cops, dudes that have to do high stress jobs usually are pretty good at that. I got you. But that, because that shouldn't really determine if your relationships will work or not, because
Yeah.
most people can turn it off when they no longer need it, in my
Right.
opinion. Anyway, all right. So what's the next article?
Oh, let's see here. Let me bring that back up here. There it is. All right, we got covert and overt threats. Narcissistic abusers and otherwise toxic people feel very threatened when their excessive sense of entitlement, false sense of superiority, and grandiose sense of self are challenged in any way. They are prone to making it unreasonable demands on others while punishing you for not living up to their impossible to reach expectations.
All right. How many times have we had to deal with that? I know I've probably had 4 or 5 instances of something similar like that when I was doing the dating thing back when I was slinging seed like an old bird feeder. But back then, the minute I got any kind of static from these women, I'm like, fuck it. I just move on. I just want to deal with it.
Yep.
I don't know. Yeah.
See, yep. Rather than tackle disagreements or compromises maturely, they set out to divert you from your right to have your own identity and perspective by attempting to instill fear in you about the consequences of disagreeing or complying with their demands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yay.
And if you
Next
guys
one's
are
name calling.
Yeah, the name calling thing, but when they're mentioning the covert narcissism thing, and women often are more covert narcissists, they don't
hell
come
yeah.
off like your typical narcissist. They do it in a more subtle camouflage manner. They may even portray themselves as victims. But for example, let's say you have a hobby, right? And that hobby takes some of your time away from her. She'll start acting out to get you to give up the hobby because you're not giving her enough attention. Covert narcissists are almost worse than the overt. The overt you can see a mile away. The covert sneak up on you.
Yep.
Yeah, and listen, I think I did a video on this in regards to hobbies. Like women get jealous of a man's hobbies because you're using resources and you're burning through time that you're not, putting at the feet of the woman.
Yeah.
And they get really butthurt about it.
Yep.
Yeah, I've had guys have their wives call scrappers to come pick up cars.
No kidding.
Oh yeah. Like I had another guy, she rolled his motorcycle into the front curb in front of the house and had her friend come by and like run it over and break it. And the only reason she got busted is they had a camera.
Lucky they did, man. That's crazy.
Yeah. And like literally she was pissed because he would spend money building up this it's basically a dragster bike.
Mm-hmm.
And he just drive in a straight line at ludicrous speed. And it was burning up a lot of weekends, a lot of money, and she was done with it.
Heaven forbid he has something he enjoys.
Yeah, I know. I can't. How many times you've heard that? How dare he do that? Oh my God. Can't believe. Where's he finding the time for that? Yeah. Like, shut the fuck up. The world does not revolve around you, you dumb bitch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, yeah, your fun bags are great to speed back on, 2 or 3 times a week. But for the most part, you're just another beef and cheddar and a catcher's mitt. I can get another one anytime. Shut the hell up.
Fantastic.
Wow. I'm serious here.
I'm hitting the button.
Well deserved. Well deserved.
Yeah. See what happens? It gets me on a roll. Crazy ass shit. What about here's another one here. Now we're doing the name calling, right?
Yeah.
All right. A lot of times the name calling is you hate your mother, you can't get laid, you're gay, that is their type of name calling.
Mm-hmm.
And
I've seen that.
The minute they start that on you, you won.
Yeah. One of the main things I've seen in arguments that I probably shouldn't have wasted my time on, but I get online. I see Jimmy does the same thing too, but we'll get online and we'll discuss these topics. And if you bring up modern dating and single mothers, topics like that, they get spun up in that. The first thing is it's either who hurt you or, well, you're not even in a relationship. So, and they assume these things. They assume these things. It's funny to watch. But again, they've really lost legitimacy of the argument. They're not talking about facts anymore.
Well, the thing is, I've had these arguments with women and I look them in the face and go, kids cost money. Now you want to have a relationship with another man. You're expecting him to come off of his own money for a kid that's not his. That is not fair. It's not reasonable. And for you to expect that means you are a narcissistic asshole, in my opinion.
Absolutely correct.
Yep.
And listen, I mean, it's $250,000 to raise a kid from K to 12. All right. If you have more kids, the price of each kid adds on a little bit, but each one's not $250,000. So typically, if you have 4 or 5 kids, the first 2 are the most expensive, and then the rest of them live on the hand-me-downs. There you go.
Yep. Going back to name calling, narcissists preemptively blow anything they perceive as a threat to their superiority out of proportion. In their world, they can never be right. They can ever be right, and anyone who dares say otherwise creates a narcissistic injury that results in narcissistic rage.
And
Ask
I've seen it. I've seen that narcissistic rage. I really have.
Ask Mark Golston, MD, asserts narcissistic rage does not result from low self-esteem, but rather a high sense of entitlement and false sense of superiority. Gee, now where have we heard that before?
Yeah.
It's not like every single feminist group that gets together and you try to tell them facts, logic, and reasoning. Then you get
more super chat to get to.
We have a couple here, but it's not even just the feminists, but I mean, look at just modern women on social media. They all have that, man.
Yep.
We've got Shark Dentures here for $2. He says, sorry, a couple of shekels for being late and chair. All right. What else we got here? I'm trying to go through this really quick.
Yeah, I got these ones pulled up. Yep. We got a Crimson Hawk with $5. He says, I have a channel dedicated to identifying and understanding narcissists, both male and female.
All right.
Check that out.
Yeah. Yep. We got a Pulse Kebab here with $20. Says, Blake, hurry back and get well soon. The B team is lackluster. Jimmy can barely read and he's sober. And Rhino, we know where his loyalties lie. Slaying cougars. We've all seen the hot mic. Stop denying it, Rhino.
Hey, look, at surgery. You can't do this 100%.
No.
Yep. I try to read too many syllables in this. There's too many ists and obics.
Obigots?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Too many big words, man.
I've run across so many insane bitches in my time that I oh my God, like probably 2 or 3 dozen crazy bitches. And all of them were narcissistic in some way. Like you couldn't criticize them. You couldn't talk about any of their weaknesses. Everything that I would do, they would nitpick it and nag. And quite literally, I mean, I was at the height of my dick thinking years, and I literally walked away from dozens of these women because I'm like, I'm not living my life like this. Get the fuck out of here. I'm done. So I understand.
Yep. Got a Crimson Hawk again with $2. Says, can't hurt me calling me gay. Make it a joke.
Right.
Yeah, why I have no idea why they always do that. They always fall back on you hate your mother
every time.
It's like 5 or 6 base insults if you boil it down to the raw crystal meth of their argument. It's all literally just making fun of you or attacking a shortcoming or weakness.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's nothing to do with actual reality.
And actually, you have that up on your board there. I'm going to. But you said right in Pride and Vanity, you have performance comparison, Lastiakaha.
Yep.
They do that. That's pretty common too.
Oh yeah. I can't tell you how many times I've had to deal with that. And I used to actually give advice to some of the soldiers I served with. And like, for instance, we're at a family day and the guy's wife is doing that shit, and literally said, comparing her husband to a guy she had dated 3 or 4 years prior to this. Oh. And at the next day, I pulled that soldier aside and I go, look, bro, you need to get away from that crazy wife of yours because it's not going to go anywhere good. She's already comparing you to a past penis. All right. You're not a time traveler. You're not that guy. She's already comparing you to another penis she tasted in the past. That means at some point she's going to get sick of you and she's going to rotate your ass out. So conduct yourself accordingly and get yourself ready for bad news. And 2 months later, he was living in the barracks.
Oh, yeah. I'm not at all surprised by that. I've seen that happen. And And keep in mind, if she is comparing you to past partners, there may be an alpha widow scenario there where she's still thinking about that guy. And it's only a matter of time before she jumps ship on you, man. So once that argument starts,
didn't even occur to me, alpha widow. Thanks for that. That's actually a good perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Woo. I don't know, man.
Good thing you made it here, Random, because I do not have the same perspectives as you do.
I've just been in a lot of bad situations.
We've all been there.
Learn from experience, gentlemen.
All right. Now, like what we're trying to do here with this show is talk about the psychological reasons that women do what they do, how to disarm what they do. And a lot of times, if you have the information and you know what they're doing, you can head it off at the pass before it even, becomes a problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like if men realize that most of the shit that's going on in their lives that's bad is because of one of the 7 deadly sins or basic male human nature. Once they realize that, it becomes a lot easier to go, hey, wait a minute. She's plucking the string on my guilt harpsichord here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, fuck that. I'm shutting that down. No, not happening.
Yeah. Let's see. We got a Slacker Dan with $11 Canadian. Says, my toxic narcissistic ex-wife, after finding a new man, abducted my son. After a few years, he died in an accident and she didn't tell me.
Oh my God.
I found out through Facebook. I hurt a lot and miss my son so much. Jesus.
Dude, I am so sorry, man.
Jesus.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Whew. That was a tough one, man.
That's bad, man. My condolences to you.
Listen, it is very common for a man's children to basically go MIA once the divorce is done. At some point, they're going to do their own thing, and if you're not in their life on a regular basis, it's a losing game of diminishing returns.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah, I know some guys personally. One in particular I can think of. He hasn't seen his kid in like 7 years, man, and he's still. I've talked to him a lot about it. It's messed him up bad, but he still puts on Facebook happy birthday to her and everything, and like the wife, the ex-wife won't. It's a messed up situation.
I know, and that's why I made the video called Phantom Holiday.
Yeah.
That was like the second or third video that me and Blake did. And that's because I know lots of guys in the military who literally buy birthday presents, Christmas presents, and any other holiday, specific gifts, and put them in a room in their house for on that off chance that someday the kid comes back, he can just give them all of the gifts. It's fucking heartbreaking. It really is.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got a G-Man with 650. He says, I like Bones and Rhinos nights. Thank you. Thank you for that one, sir.
Good.
It's not the exciting Captain's Poop Deck show. It's a comfortable conversation with drunk uncles.
I get you. Thank you. Now listen, Blake does a great job with the voices and the reading and everything. And the guy's a technical wizard.
Oh, yeah.
So it is what it is. And most people don't know this. Like, my comedy is the direct, brutal shit that I say. And then a lot of the other long form comedy all comes from Blake, because that dude's a comedy genius as well as I am.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Let's see. We got Devin Stark, $2. Women conflate accountability with shame.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, they do.
That's pretty true.
Evil Zombie Toad, $9.99. And yet I have never been attacked as viciously with an actual knife once as when I've wounded a woman's pride.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I got chased with a baseball bat full of gutter nails, and I never found out why.
Right.
It's fucking crazy.
Something like this.
Needed that moment.
Good time.
That was perfect. That was perfect timing. I just happened to see you catch a drink right now. That we're gonna have a spit take on our hands.
I almost did. I'm glad I was on screen.
Oh yeah. Got a Bronco Girl with $5. I saw a sticker on a truck today. It said, "Death smiles at everyone. Only veterans smile back." Made me think of you, Pop. Thanks for all you do.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yep. Matt Wilson with $10 Australian. Dated a covert narc, single mom years ago. She was hot, educated, PhD, and pulled the pin on the victim grenade all the time. Gaslighting made me think I was going crazy. Luckily, I had good people to have my back.
Thought we might know the same chick until you said PhD, but the rest lines up.
See, that's another thing narcissists like to do, is they like to isolate the person from his friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
I call it the full testiculus redonculitis treatment. They did a whole video about this.
Yep.
And the reason they do that is they don't want their friends telling, the man, "Hey, she's fucking out of her mind. You need to get the hell out of here," because she wants that 100% control. She wants to lock that person in, turn him into a slave until she gets tired of him, and then cuts him loose.
Yep.
Yep.
Let's see. We got a clip 3188 before 99. This list reminds me of Shakespeare. Reminds me of the actions Lady Macbeth did to rule Scotland from the shadows. This has been around for centuries.
Yes, it has. It's been around since Adam and Eve.
Yep.
Just listen, that bitch talked Adam into fucking himself hard. She did. She probably pulled out a fun bag, eat the apple. Next thing you know, the creator of everything is kicking your asses out. Like, what the fuck happened here?
See, and that's how God punished men now, because the one and only time that women decided where to eat, they doomed all of humanity.
That's brilliant, Jimmy.
I like that. That was
I had to.
Totally
You haven't heard that joke before?
No, that's the first time I heard it.
Oh man, that's an old one. Oh god, Humbly Rise with $4.99 says, "Hey Pop, I was a bit late. Didn't know if you covered it. May I get an update on Blake's situation, please, sir?"
Sure. He had to have hernia surgery. He's recovering right now. Surgery went well. More than likely, he's going to make a full recovery. It'll take anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks, maybe a little longer. So we'll see.
Yep.
All right.
When we were doing when he was running me through the process of downloading the stuff to get it on MGTOW and Odyssey, he stood up and said, "Yeah, I'm a little bit bloated." So I was like, "Oh, great. So we got Fat Punisher and Fat Captain now."
Yeah.
I've been talking to him on and off this week. He's still in high spirits, man. It's not like changed some settings on accident, but he's doing good. From everything I've talked to him, he seems to be in good spirits. Still has a sense of humor, and I can't remember the quote off the top of my head, but the thing he said after coming out of anesthesia cracked me up. Something about pastel colors do not keep you hidden. It's pretty good, man.
Hey, listen, I've said some crazy shit coming out from under anesthesia myself, so
Yeah,
it happens. Well, so what's the next
All
one?
right. The next one here we got destructive conditioning. Toxic people condition you to associate your strengths, talents, and happy memories with abuse, frustration, and disrespect. They do this by sneaking in covert and overt put-downs about the qualities and traits they once idolized, as well as sabotaging your goals, ruining your celebrations, vacations, and holidays.
Yeah. So basically what they're doing, if it's not about them, it will be about no one.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I don't want to go out of my way and plug anybody, Pop, but there is a channel that I've watched that covers narcissism like exclusively in depth for anybody that wants to go deeper in it. You mind if I mention the name?
No, I don't care.
If you haven't, check out Richard Grannon. I really like him. Actually, I was in a relationship with a covert narcissist to the point where they drove me to think I was the crazy one. After she split, I went to therapy and then found out, no, she was the narcissist. If I was the narcissist, I wouldn't be here in therapy. But I started listening to Richard Grannon after that, and he is a recovering narcissist. So he goes in very deep detail about it. It's pretty cool stuff.
I don't know if you can recover from that, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I I can't say, but he does try to help other people understand and get out of those relationships. So there's some redeeming qualities there.
I mean, it's typically you have a BP, borderline personality disorder.
Mm-hmm.
You're not you're not rehabilitating yourself. You're just figuring out how to live in the world.
Right.
You're like you're not rewiring your thinking meat to that depth at your age.
No.
It's not happening. And I'm wondering if a lot of this narcissism horseshit that women and feminists are using I wonder if that's a side effect of the fact they never had a father in their life.
Could very well be.
Yeah.
It could be like the basic of daddy issues is narcissism.
Yeah. I mean, well, let's just talk about that really quick. You look at statistical data on children coming from single mother households. You look at the self-deletion rates increasing, depression, the chances of incarceration. Pretty much, if you're raised by a single mother, you're already jacked up. And narcissism is developed as a way to protect yourself. It becomes a shell, toxic shell, but a shell to protect you from the world and all of the trauma from your childhood or whenever it developed. So what you're saying, I actually agree with 100%. I mean, if you're coming from a single mother household, you're already pretty jacked up, especially if you don't have a father there to guide you and keep you off the pole, so to speak.
My mother did a lot of the shit that's on this list. The
Mhm.
waterworks, the withhold affection. Compared me to my own father sometimes to try to shame me. Blame shift, gaslighting, nagging. That's the female, the equivalent of male speak or man speak. When women do it, it's just nagging.
Yep. No one likes a nagger.
That's right.
They may even isolate you from your friends and family and make you financially dependent upon them. Like Pavlov's dog, you're essentially trained over time to become afraid of doing the very things that once made your life fulfilling.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Ugh.
Wow.
And a covert narcissist will do this a little bit different. It's not going to be, I don't want you to be friends with him anymore. They'll put you in positions where you just don't have time. They will eat up every ounce of your time so
Calendar
that you
sabotage.
don't have.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
Yep.
Calendar sabotage.
Yep. Narcissists are also naturally pathologically envious and don't want anything to come in between them and their influence over you. Your happiness represents everything they feel and cannot have it in their emotionally shallow lives. After all, if you learn that you can get validation, respect, and love from other sources besides the toxic person, what's to keep you from leaving them? To a toxic person, a little conditioning can go a long way to keep you walking on eggshells and falling just short of your big dreams.
Sounds right.
Yep. That eggshell walking. I've been in a few relationships, and all right, as I got older, I literally got to the point where if I was in a relationship and I was walking on eggshells around the other woman, I literally would just leave. I just can't stand it. I don't know. I mean, one of the main reasons is as you get older, you stop dick thinking. So somewhere in my 30s, I was like, what am I doing this for? I mean, for 30 seconds of oh baby, I got to put up. Nah, fuck that. No.
Right. Yeah.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Hey, we got a couple other super chats, I see.
King of Sharks for $5. Narcissism is the reason I took the red pill suppository. Thanks for 6 years of keeping a 25-year-old from digging his own grave. Cheers, you wonderful riggers. Thank you, sir. And glad you're here.
Yep. And we had another one. Escape the prison colony with $50 Australian. There.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
All right.
Says, from the land down under, writing my story of how you stopped me from giving up my air addiction. Cliff notes to include 2-time narcissistic Kawantahas, fake news media, and a friend being thrown in jail. You gave me my number 476. God bless you, sir.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Outstanding. And listen, I love it when people I was able to help keep watching the show. so they can actually share it with other individuals. Because listen, there's some guys out there that they're just trapped in their own pain mind, and they need to laugh and break out of it. And I don't know how I could do it myself. I mean, I would do it if I could, but I don't have the reach to get to these many guys. So that's why I need you guys out there to share the channel and share the videos with your other male compatriots.
Do it now.
Yeah, because listen, men don't fuck around.
Yeah.
Like I was just telling you guys before we started the show, one of my soldiers had committed suicide a couple days ago. And literally, he was in his house having an argument. He walked out the front door, pulled out his gun. So when a man decides it's done, it is done. Very rarely is there a attempted suicide when you're dealing with a man. And who knows? Maybe I could have got in there a little bit before that happened and help him out. I'll never know now.
Right.
But it's very important. And it's one of the reasons why I do this is I just got sick and tired of stuffing body bags, man.
Yep.
Stupid.
I will drink to that soldier. God rest your soul, good sir.
What's the next one? The smear campaign.
We have smear campaigns and stalking. Oh,
Listen,
geez, I don't.
Women are masters of the smear campaign. I mean, they drop out of the vagina with a green belt and administrative violence.
Yeah. Something to add to that. If you've ever had a group chat with your buddies, you joke around, you tell jokes, you share memes. Women's group chats aren't like that. And if you don't know that, I'm going to tell you now, women's group chats are about their exes and drama and who they're going to destroy this week. It's quite disturbing what they talk about in their chats.
Hey, Red Pill, let's do a collaboration.
Yeah.
And we'll actually look at the chat of women and the chat of men and do direct comparisons.
Definitely could do that. Yeah.
I think that'd be cool.
Hell yeah.
I like that idea. We need to get that done. Let's see. When toxic types can't control the way you see yourself, they start to control how others see you. They play the martyr. They play the martyr while you're labeled the toxic one. A smear campaign is a preemptive strike to sabotage your reputation and slander your name, so you won't have a chance. So you won't have a support network to fall back onto, lest you decide to detach and cut ties with this toxic person.
Gentlemen, those of you especially under the ages of, let's say 35, think about the last couple women you dated. Is there something you noticed that may have been similar with all of them? And I'm just going to spoil it for you. All of their exes were toxic, abusive narcissists, ironically.
Project much?
Yeah, right.
Right.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. I don't know. I don't know.
They may even stalk and harass you or the people you know as a way to supposedly expose the truth about you. This exposure acts as a way to hide their own abusive behavior while projecting it onto you. Some smear campaigns can even work to pit two people or two groups against each other. A victim in an abusive relationship with a narcissist often doesn't know what's being said about them during the relationship, but they eventually find out, and their falsehoods shortly after they've been discarded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very common. It's very common. I can't tell you how many times I've had to deal with guys who were married, and then all of a sudden they're getting divorced, and the soon-to-be ex-wife comes up with every accusation in the book, just slanders that their soon-to-be ex-husband in front of his family, his friends. It is savage, and there's no remorse whatsoever.
Yep,
none.
And there was something else you've talked about quite frequently is the slingback. There actually is a term for this that is in the narcissistic traits. It's called hoovering. So they'll discard you. They'll move on to their new fancy toy, their new shiny thing to play with, use and discard, and then they hoover back to you. And that is the sling back right there. Absolutely.
That's because I believe the pattern I saw was typically 7 years after a failed divorce or a failed marriage or long relationship. All right. And then there'll be 2 or 3 more that fail. And typically by the end of the second or third one, they try to go back to the person they had the longest relationship with, trying to, rekindle or fix that whole thing. And it never works out.
No.
Nope.
Bad plan.
Yep. Let's see. You got number 12, love bombing and devaluation. Toxic people put you through an idealization phase until you're sufficiently hooked and invested in beginning a friendship or relationship with you. Then they begin to devalue you while insulting the very things they admired in the first place. Another variation of this is when a toxic individual puts you on a pedestal while aggressively devaluing and attacking someone else who threatens their sense of superiority.
Now, on that one, with narcissists, it usually takes a period of time. It's a cycle. But if you've ever met, and this is you stay far away if you start seeing symptoms of BPD, borderline personality disorder, they can do what's just been discussed here. They can do it in a minute. They can switch from the love bombing to devaluing, making you feel like trash in under 5 minutes flat. It is insane to see that happen. Yeah.
Hey, the horse chick I used to date was really good at that.
Yeah.
The love bombing, and then they pull it back to control you.
Right.
Yeah.
Run. Just run.
Well, now that I know, that line of questioning, I'm good. But I had never dealt with that before to that degree. And that was pretty much the last fucking kick in the pants that pushed me over the red pill threshold.
Nice. Narcissistic abusers do this all the time. They devalue their exes to their new partner, and eventually the new partner starts to receive the same sort of mistreatment as the narcissist's ex-partner. Ultimately, what will happen is you will also be on the receiving end of that same abuse.
A lot of divorced women do this.
Yep.
I can't tell you the times I've had these divorced women look me in the eye and tell me that their ex was a manipulative narcissist and made their life a living hell. I'm like, okay, where's the exit? Check, please. I don't want any of that.
Yeah.
Neither should you.
They were always the exes, the narcissists, and all the abusers, right?
Right? Wrong.
Guys, I'm cutting out a little bit. Not sure what's going on, but if something weird going on here. I don't know. I dropped out twice. So if I fall off the channel, I'll come back on.
All right, then.
Right. We'll see if we can knock through these real quick. We got a preemptive defense when someone stresses the fact that they are a nice guy or girl, that you should trust them right away, or emphasizes their credibility without provocation from you whatsoever. Be wary. Toxic and abusive people overstate their ability to be kind and compassionate. They often tell you that you should trust them without first building a solid foundation of trust. They may perform at a high level of sympathy and empathy at the beginning of your relationship to dupe you, only to unveil their false mask later on.
Yep, that sounds perfect. Yep.
Do we got any other super chats to get through?
Let's see. I think I saw a couple come in here. Crimson Hawk, $5. 90% of the MGTOW men have divorced a narc, and men do express their emotions. It's at the end of the gun. By then, it's too late.
That's right.
Let's see. Crimson Hawk with $2. Have you guys covered narcissistic supply?
No, I have not.
Not yet. Humbly Rise with $4.99 says, I don't understand why an A+% amount of women are okay with lying during family court and misleading the children's mind about their father.
Because they don't care. They do not care. This is a party for them. It doesn't matter who they damage in the process.
It is a party and a paycheck.
A large majority of women are narcissists simply because of the go along to get along method that women are instinctively programmed to do. So.
God damn it. Ascension! He's got $10. Bastard, I read this one. Tell Blake that his lieutenant has everything under control on the Titanic and to hurry back. I've got some new jumper cables I'm trying out on the Merman. Sick bastard.
What's that about?
I don't know.
That's
jumper cables and batteries, I'm guessing, on the
something
Merman.
about the gay cruise, man. That's
something.
No, thank you.
Got a Shadow Tempest with $5. He says, my ex is currently seeing someone younger who is only seeing her for an easy lay and doesn't want kids yet. She's head over heels for the loser.
And she will get her heart ripped out of her asshole when he moves along, which he will.
Oh, yeah.
And all I have to say to that when she just starts complaining, wah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
That's a whole, that one comment is an entire episode if you went into it, because this is women do this, and then again they hit the epiphany phase once they're launched over that. Where are all the good men? Well, you chose the guys that are playing you. So what do you want?
They choose the dudes that play them, and they diss the men that would actually be good for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not good. Let's see. To counter a preemptive defense, reevaluate why a person may be emphasizing their good qualities. Is it because they think you don't trust them, or because they know you shouldn't? Trust actions more than empty words, and see how someone's actions communicate who they are, not who they say they are.
Yeah.
That's right. Actions speak louder than words. 100%.
Absolutely. Triangulation, bringing in the opinion, perspective, or suggestive threat of another person into the dynamic and interaction is known as triangulation, often used to validate the toxic person's abuse while invalidating the victim's reactions to the abuse. Triangulation can also work to manufacture love triangles that leave you feeling unhinged and insecure.
Yeah, the most common one you're going to see on this is where, even though you're in a relationship and for some reason she's with you, she will turn her friends or her family against you and pit them against you to keep you in line. That shit's no fun.
Wow.
Yeah, that does not sound good at all. I don't know, man. It seems like the triangulation that seems to me like that it's a high chance of ending up in a murder-suicide situation.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
Listen, getting ganged up on sucks. So, I mean, if you're having a problem with your significant other, and then she brings in her friend, and they're both fucking hitting you, telling you, oh, you're wrong, blah, blah, just get the hell out of that situation. It's not going to take you anywhere good.
Yep. To resist triangulation tactics, realize that whoever the narcissist is triangulating with is also being triangulated by your relationship with the narcissist as well. Everyone is essentially being played by this one person. Reverse triangulate the narcissist by gaining support from a third party that is not under the narcissist's influence, and also by speaking your own validation.
Again, that advice sounds good, but
it's hard to do.
Leave. that's the correct advice. Leave.
It's not going to take you anywhere good. Listen, you are not going to have a long and happy, contented relationship with a woman who's narcissistic or has a bipolar problem. That's why I am adamant on when you go to a woman's house for the first time, look in the medicine cabinet, take pictures of what's there, Google it later. If they're head meds, block her on your phone, never go back.
Mm-hmm. Which rules out like what, 60% of them right there?
58%.
58%.
All the women under 30 have some type of mental problem.
Oh, goody.
Yeah.
Let's see. They got 15. Bait and feign innocence. Toxic individuals lure you into a false sense of security simply to have a platform to showcase their cruelty. Excuse me. Baiting you into a mindless, chaotic argument can escalate into a showdown rather quickly with someone who doesn't know the meaning of respect. A simple disagreement may bait you into responding politely initially until it becomes clear that the person has malicious motive of tearing you down.
Mm.
Yep.
Oh, there it is. There's hoovering.
And that's when you say, okay, I see this conversation is going nowhere. I'm going to leave now.
Listen, my word of advice is if you're in a relationship and you're getting treated like this on the regular, it's not going to go well. Cut bait, get away, reset.
Yep.
It's just heartbreaking. I see so many guys get fucked over this.
Yeah, and the thing is, I noticed, myself included, when I was younger, a lot of men will just stick around and hope it gets better. It doesn't get better, man. It's not going to get better for you.
Nope.
It helps to realize when you're being baited so you can avoid engaging altogether. Provocative statements, name-calling, hurtful accusations, or unsupported generalizations, for example, are common baiting tactics. Your gut instinct can also tell you when you're being baited. If you feel off about a certain comment and continue to feel this way even after it has been expanded on, that's a sign you may need to take some space to reevaluate the situation before choosing to respond. Again,
get the hell out.
Trust your gut. Your gut will more often than not be the correct judgment call.
Just get the hell out of there, man.
Yep. There we go. Boundary test. We got 4 more here for through this one. Then we can get back to the chats here. I know there's quite a few on MGTOW and everywhere else. We'll see if we can knock through these here real quick.
Okay.
Boundary testing and hoovering. Narcissists, sociopaths, and otherwise toxic people continually try and test your boundaries to see which one they can trespass. The more violations they're able to commit without consequences, the more they'll push the envelope.
Yep.
That's why survivors of emotional as well as physical abuse often experience more severe incidences of abuse each and every time they go back to their abusers.
Yeah, there's a cycle to it. And I'm not the psychologist here, but you're going to go through the love bombing phase, then you're going to go into the devaluing phase, then it's going to get to that abuse, then it's going to go back to the love bombing. And every time you go through that cycle, that person becomes more and more hostile and volatile towards you. Not to mention, they're losing more respect every time that cycle completes too.
Yep.
That sounds just so great.
Oh, yeah, lovely. It's a good walk in the park on a Sunday afternoon, man.
I'm so excited to walk into that situation tomorrow. Not.
No.
Thank you.
Abusers tend to hoover their victims back in with sweet promises, fake remorse, and empty words of how they're going to change, only to abuse the victims even more horrifically. In the abuser's sick mind, this boundary testing serves as punishment for standing up to the abuse and also going back to it. When narcissists try to press the emotional reset button, reinforce your boundaries even more strongly rather than backtracking on them. Remember, highly manipulative people don't respond to empathy or compassion. They respond to consequences.
And even then, the consequences, let's say they end up in, the slammer for an evening. Their consequences, they don't even care that they did something wrong. They care that they got busted. So keep that in mind too. They don't even care about the consequences. It's only that they got caught.
They got fucking caught. Yeah, absolutely correct.
Yep. Aggressive jabs disguised as jokes.
Oh,
Jimmy,
Covert
let's
nar-
step on for a second.
This is the
You're right, go ahead.
equivalent of belittling.
Mm-hmm.
You get belittled. The woman will belittle the man in front of his friends and family and try to create that doubt to crush the man's frame in so that he can be manipulated.
Yep. Let's see. Covert narcissists enjoy making malicious remarks at your expense. They're usually dressed up as just jokes so that they can get away with saying appalling things while still maintaining an innocent, cool demeanor. Yet, anytime you are outraged at an insensitive, harsh remark, you are accused of having no sense of humor. This is a tactic frequently used in verbal abuse.
Yeah, I've run across this with a male guy. He was a dude, and he would run his mouth and just be a raging asshole. And he would only do it in certain situations where he believed he would, be able to get away with it without being challenged.
Mhm.
And I remember on one different occasion, he finally had gone over the edge, and I walked up to him and just slapped him across his face, called him a bitch. And literally, I just watched it just melt down in front of me. Oh my God. I'm like,
Yeah.
he reacted like a dude. I felt sorry for him. Like, get the fuck away from me. Just shut your mouth. But yeah, that does happen. And it happens to men too. But the thing is, when men do it, they run the risk of getting jap slapped by another dude. Women, they rely on that, he ain't going to hit me because he's a man kind of thing. And they get really nasty.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Especially if they're pitted up against another man and then one other dude steps in between the two. Then she gets the balls to start, lunging a little bit more forward and actually reach around and try to slap the dude.
No. There's a tactic for this too. What you're mentioning, this behavior, if you find yourself in a position with one of these lovely women, they will push your buttons in a public setting to get the white knights around to go, oh, she's the poor victim. They'll do that on purpose.
Yes, they do. It's called diarrhea mouth.
Mm.
And women do that all the time. And I made that video like 7 years ago. All right, hang on. Let's do a piss break, and then we'll get to the super chats, and we'll move over to alt tech when we come back.
All right. You know what?
It's a disease, and I'm the cure.
All right. Looks like we're still waiting here. He should be coming.
Must be his squirrel bladder must have been extra full.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
That's all right.
Things happen. All right, so let's get through the rest of the super chats on YouTube. Then we'll move over to alt tech, and we'll cover those super chats. How's that sound?
All righty. Sounds good. We got Chad the Impaler with $2. Make sure that is the one. Yep, that's the next one. He says, never will get married again. Being Chad was better.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Got a channel 1-800 Dumb with 22 New Zealand. Salute my brothers, Big Pop, Rhino, Jimmy. Blakey got better. Get better. Do it now. Knox 33. 3 live public, private, secret. 3 main qualities: anger control, no empathy, 3 phases, love bomb, devalue, discard. God bless on the chat.
Heck yeah.
Got a Shadow Tempest, $5. My ex is a narc who ruined my military career and tried to take my daughter after she left with an FP or with the PFA. Beat the PFA. Now I'm thriving.
Nice.
Got Digital Do, $2. With a friend today, a new word, honoun. Thanks, Sergeant Pop.
I am going to keep that honoun. I like that.
I got Humbly Rise again with $9.99. Hey Pop, thanks for referring the finish line action of liquid. It actually helped my back, but didn't mention the horse side effects. I'm leaping over fences and knocking things off from the shelf across the room.
I'm telling you, that shit works, man. You just got to get over the picture of the horse on the bottle. That's it.
Yeah, it's just a horse, man.
What, the shit looks like a charm.
Yep. Just a shame it won't give you the other horse advantages. Philip Oliver Holes with $2. Confirmed.
Sorry.
Confirmed. Blake's thinking about a gay cruise.
All right.
And got a last one here from Damasta12 with $50.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
All right. Thank you very much.
He says, I sent you an email to Redonkulous12. I need to deal with one of the greatest demons in my life because it's become clear that I can't live with this anymore, but I can't defeat this on my own. I need help. I did see that email. I did star it so that Papa and Blake can review that later. I think
I will. I'll get on that after the show.
Let me show. Holy shit. Ryan Langston with $100.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Thank you, good sir. Damaster12, yes. Hopefully we will, Pop will get to your email and get to that as soon as possible. We will get you any help you need, my good sir. Ryan Langston says, Pop, I won in a way I got every other weekend, no child support. My lawyer said I could have pushed for more, but let enough rope for her to hang
herself. Yeah.
To hang. And the way I won was voice recordings of almost 2 years straight. She didn't fight back because she knows she fucked up.
Yep.
Yep. And it looks like we'll have one more from Alex Patino with $5. Hey, Top Pop, when's that Poptionary gonna come out? We definitely need one with your funny popisms. Hell yeah, I'd be buying it. Poptionary, I like that. Alrighty, that looks like the end of the YouTube chat. So keep an eye out on the chat. I will be posting the links to Alt Tech.
All right.
All right.
So we will see you over there momentarily.
All right.
I highly suggest MGTOW.tv.
Can I take us out, Jimmy?
I think we can take us out.
All right.
All right.